So I want to start off by let me just make sure I have the microphone on. Okay, yeah, I have the microphone on. This time now my phone can check the microphone. I want to start off by talking about what they're telling me. You notice I have the turmeric on my mouth. Um, they said for a long time now that a picture that I took and I gave to Lacoste, which is partly what I'm saying. Like, I want to know, how do they know what I was saying at Lacoste if they weren't there? It confirms that this system was there, because they're not just saying like one thing that I may have said, they're saying a lot of things. They said that I took a picture of a mother and a child. That wasn't what I said it was. I said, I explained the story. I was on the express bus going into Manhattan, and in Central Park there was there were two people. One was an adult and one looked smaller. So that person could have been a child, could have been just another person of a different height. But when I took the picture and I got the picture angle, it looked like a parent. So not necessarily a child, but a parent, someone bigger. And when I was talking to the person at Lacoste about it, the person said, "What did I like about the picture that I took?" And I said, I thought it looked like there wasn't anyone around. Now, if you guys are familiar with New York, there's always someone around. But this was Central Park. I don't know whether it was a time of day or what, but they were just walking across the snow. And it was just a beautiful moment. So they said in their harassment that I took a picture of a child. And they went on and on about me taking this picture of a child. If you see this picture, and I already put it up on a post, but I'll link it in the description. You can't really tell what that other person is, but the way it looks with just all the snow and then the colors against the snow and the branches, it was just a moment that was to me so perfect. They were going on and on. What do I mean? I say there's no such thing as perfect, but I say perfect. We say perfect, but what really is perfection? How do you define perfection? But we say something was perfect all the time. So going through this with them, I would spend most of my time trying to explain myself. And that's the opposite of what a good relationship is. A good relationship doesn't involve every day, all day, explaining yourself to the other person. At some point, you realize that if you have to explain yourself to someone, that person isn't for you. The other thing is, I'm showing scenes from True Blood, which is a great television show. And in the scene, I'm going to link in this description a scene where Eric is talking to someone. I think it's season 2. And he talks about what it means to be human. And he's a vampire. So they were offended, the people talking to me, that I compare them to vampires. They are emotional vampires. They prey upon people, and they have to fight their natural instinct to prey upon people. Whereas I said in a previous video, for most normal people, we don't have a natural instinct to prey upon people. If I don't like you, I don't have a natural instinct to argue with you all day and keep making you prove yourself, or explain yourself. Either I accept you as you are, or I don't accept you, and that's perfectly fine. They tried to shame me for not wanting to be with certain people. Who wants to be with people that they don't get along with? No one. You would not create this system of trying to get along with people who you don't naturally get along with. And they make it sound like that's so unique. That is life. That is human life. That's the life experience of many, many billions of people throughout the existence of humanity. They want me to be in like a weird little world where I am the exception. I'm not the exception. The other big deal about that is that he talks to her about how we have all our emotions, and our humanity comes with so many emotions, and we're difficult, and it's hard for a vampire to even understand our emotions. And that's how I feel about them. They don't want to understand the emotion that I have, which is that I can feel the the not the difficulty of being around them, but that feeling that makes me uncomfortable. And when they talk about me being uncomfortable around them, they're feeling it too. That means we're not supposed to be around each other. If you feel uncomfortable in my presence and I can tell, I try to back off. They wouldn't. They'd keep pursuing. And at some point, when you say, please, this isn't working out, let me have my space, they call that the silent treatment. That's the opposite of the silent treatment. What it's saying is, I cannot receive you for whatever reason. And if that continues, then you have a right as a human being to say, this isn't going to work out. They would say you don't. And that's part of why I think this is such an awful situation, because it's just like with the vampire. The vampire's goal is to drain you of your blood. They can resist that natural instinct, but it's part of who they are. And our human emotions are too messy for them to understand that I don't want my blood drained. I don't want to feel exhausted after interacting with anyone. And if I do, it's natural for me to want to run from that. Thank you for watching.